This is my Canon C70, and I've had it for a few months now, and when I first got it, I got the Tilta cage, the $100 Tilta cage that they have that's just a better deal than any of the cages out there. For $100 you get this full cage on here. On the outside you get the bottom Arca Swiss plate, you get the HDMI clamp that comes with it. Like, it's a great deal for the cage, even has like vertical mounting for it, but one thing that really annoys me about it is that you can't mount too much to it despite it having a lot of spots. It's just a kind of a frustrating cage for me to use, and I just wanted to try something different for a long time. I've been looking at Bright Tangerine. Bright Tangerine is a lot more expensive, and I've never actually tried their stuff. I've seen it on equipment, but I haven't actually tried it out. So that's what I'm doing here. I just have my camera here, and then I purchased some parts from Bright Tangerine for the C70, and I'm going to put it on the camera. And I held myself off from looking at any of this stuff over here, so I have no idea how it's going to work, or if it's going to fit, or if I'm going to do some weird things to it. So I have screwdrivers, I have HDMI cable. That's another thing I didn't like about this, is on here only certain HDMI cables will fit in the clamp on here, and this clamp doesn't even really clamp stuff. First things first, I'm going to take this apart. Where this cage was $100, I think that was about $400 something for all those parts and pieces. And what you're getting there is not, I mean, you're getting a full cage, but you're not getting a base plate or anything like that with it. Yeah, this is a different format of video. What I've done in the last few videos is just basically script something and then shoot it until it sounds right. But in this case, I have no script, I have no bullet points. I'm just trying to show something that I'm excited to see, and that's what this cage is. With the Tilta cage, you get this smaller Arca Swiss plate, or Archetype compatible plate, that goes onto their base plate system, their LWS base plate, this thing right here. And it's fine. You have to, at least in my case, I had to take a file to this plate here because it was just a little bit too large to fit in there, and it would get stuck. Like, I'd move this lever here, or this lever, to lock it down, but it just wouldn't budge because it was too sharp. And you can actually see, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's some marks here on the anodizing from it rubbing against that and being unable to move. So that's just, I guess that's what you get for that kind of a budget cage, is not as precise of. So this Bright Tangerine thing, I'm hoping that the Bright Tangerine stuff is good quality. Like, I've heard a lot of great things about them, but I have no idea. I am doing the order of this wrong, so don't do this. You're supposed to take off this little top bracket up here first, which is a little, yeah, it's not a hex or anything like that. It is a Phillips. And what this does is it actually uses the lens marker, lens indicator spot pin right here that you'll see once the cage is off. It uses that to provide additional stability. A lot of cages out there don't do that. Wait, so this is off, that's off, so this whole thing, it should just, yeah, okay. A lot of cages out there just mount strictly to this. And over time, some people's C70s will actually loosen up a bit. Because of that, because you'll torque it and then it'll get loose. So, like the wooden camera top handle, that thing I've heard will loosen up. So one thing I liked about this cage when I got it was that it had that additional stability here. I don't know if the Condor Blue one will do it, but let's find out. Just want to see how much this weighs. Only fair. Okay, so 323. So this cage is 323 grams. Don't know where that screw came from. Now we get to look at the fun stuff. Oh, that's so light. Like, it might even be lighter than this. No way. Okay, that's 23.5. It's okay, I'm biased. 87.9. So it's definitely not. This is 4 times as heavy as this, but for some reason it feels really light, and that's just, I guess, how thin these parts are and how thin they made it. That's kind of amazing on there. I have no idea what this is, though. It might have to do with DJI, like a DJI feature for that. Okay, so that's this. That's the base plate to the camera. not the base plate, sorry. That's the just the plate for mounting the tripods. So this is the side piece. Goes onto the camera. And it's nice. Yeah, I'm just noticing that the metal just feels lighter. And yeah, I know it's heavy, but it feels something about it. I think it's just the overall finish. I don't know. It just feels really nice. Not because I spent a lot of money on it, and now I'm biased by that. Here we go. Here is the top plate, and one question I have about this is does it secure on this locating piece here? And that's it. That is where that. No, it isn't where it goes. Oh, nope, wrong way. So that goes here. Stow center screw. It's got marking on here. This is stow center screw and quarter AT. Bright Tangerine. Right to there. It sits there. So on looking, I don't see anything securing that sensor marker pin. If you wanted to know what that is more, like if you go like this indicates where the sensor is inside the camera, so you can tell that it's this far back. But it also is, I don't know, that's not a quarter 20. It's smaller than that. But that is also a place where they can secure it because it's part of the body of the camera. So some cages I've seen will have pieces that fix to it, just like the Tilta cage. So this doesn't have that. Okay. Let's flip it over. See how this goes on. One thing about the C70 is that the arrangement there is horizontal, or not running with the lens of the camera. It's this way, which is kind of weird. So how Bright Tangerine's getting around it is with a few screws here. I believe it goes this way, because it wraps around right there. Yeah. I gotta say that's just about the most secure plate on a camera ever, and I don't have to worry about it being crooked or misangled or anything because it is locked in 3 places. That is not going to go anywhere. That's just going to stay nice and flat right there. That is really thin material too. They really got that thin. I see why it costs a lot of money. Right there, and it goes here. And this goes here. Neat. There's the camera with the top plate. And, you know, I am actually going to take all this off because I want to weigh it. I want to weigh it to the other cage. So reverse. So how much does this weigh? This guy, let me turn it on first. And 256, so we're actually less. This cage weighs less than this guy. So I got the top plate on, and I have base plate. I'm going to put the side piece on here. So this is going to adjust this a bit. I have to move that. I'm just going to put it back. Okay. This goes right here. Are they all the same? Yep, they're all the same. So it's just that one bottom piece that is a different one. One of the main draws I had for this cage, and why I wanted to spend more on a cage like this over other cages, was I wanted something that was light and not bulky, and only covered half the camera. I don't like on the Tilta cage how the hand grip on the right side, you have to run the hand grip wrist holder, this thing. You have to run that through the Tilta parts and not through the camera itself. Something about it I just didn't like. That is the full cage on there, and that is nice. You still have the whole grip, like I just said. You don't have to run anything through any pieces of metal like that. It's just the camera itself. And this is nicely wrapped around the side. What I'm already noticing on here is that these buttons are no longer blocked. On the Tilta cage, you have to kind of stick your finger down underneath the pieces. On here, it's far enough away that you don't, and it doubles as a NATO rail. That's really cool. Also got a NATO rail built into the top, unlike this one, which you need to have get a NATO rail for that. This small rig NATO rail is actually pretty cool. It's their low profile one, which has a protective drop protector here, and then it has an entry side here that clips in, and it won't go back the other way, so it only goes out this side. It's nice. It's lower profile than the other ones. This one here is just a couple of protectors right there, so this should just slide on. Yep. And there we go. So while the sensor indicator isn't being used, it is here, and it's wrapping around, down, and bolting into the plate. So that is more secure than I thought it would be. And that's really smooth. Compare that. So there's this. Right? Compare that to just a little bit grittier. Last piece to put on here is this HDMI cable protector. Thing about the C70 is that you only have one video out port. That is the HDMI. So, yeah, not great. But the benefit, there's got to be a way how this fits in here. Come on. I feel like it would fit in there somehow, but I don't. Anyway, HDMI clamp. It goes on here somehow. I have no idea. I just see it that it says HDMI clamp. And you have this guy. You got a little capacitive screw sitting right there with barely anything on there. Oh, it's not capacitive. Never mind. What? Oh. Just go in. That's really cool. There. So that, I like that. It has a little bit of play, so that if you have an HDMI that is thicker on one side, then on the other side you can adjust this a little bit to make room for it. So that's really cool. This guy right here can clip right in. I can already see that I need to scooch it that way. And then over here, what am I looking at? Okay, I have two flat heads. 1 Newton-meter max. Don't over torque it, it says. I don't know how that's working. Will this work? Whoa. Is it this? Whoa, it's a 2. Oh, cool. Okay, so it's an H2. Look at that. Now that's really cool. That guy's not going anywhere. Well, if I do it to 1 Newton-meter, then it's nice and secure. That's really cool. I like this, that it moves around, adjusts for the different sizes for the HDMIs, and then it has this, which I had to get this. I didn't have one of these. They typically don't come in the kit, so like I have a whole pile of Allen wrenches, and none of them were like this, so bit of a downside, but they could have made it bigger. They just wanted to make it a little bit more slender, I guess. So that's the cage. That is everything about it. First initial thoughts are on it is that the build quality is really, really nice. The fact that everything is marked is helpful. Lightweight, it's lighter than the Tilta cage, and my favorite part about it is that the handle is not blocked. So I can still put this back on there, be holding the camera, and only the camera, versus having to wrap my hand around the side of it. And as far as the HDMI piece goes, this thing was really annoying to use. It just bends the metal here, which could break at some point, but like, it just bends it, and then you have to hope that you have the right size HDMI cable. I only had one cable that worked, and this is the one that I had to order, because none of the other cables that I had, either the right angle, which I really like, because they don't stick out, they point straight up, or they're straight like this, and the ones that were straight were too thick for it. So on here, that's really cool. Okay, the thing about the Bright Tangerine cages is that they fit onto their LWS lightweight system, or like a universal base plate system that they have for all ranges of cameras. So even though this costs more, you're buying into an ecosystem that you can attach to a base plate that you can have on all your cameras. So if all your cameras are the Bright Tangerine setup with a Manfrotto plate like this, they'll fit right into that, and you can use it across all your cameras. So that's what I was thinking, is if I upgrade or have different cameras in the future, I just have Bright Tangerine components, and then I pop it off here, go to another tripod, and lock it down, which I think is really cool. Yeah, so that is the Bright Tangerine cage. If you like this more casual style of video, where I had no script or anything like that, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about the Bright Tangerine cage as I start to use it, you can also comment that below. If you're just watching this video for the first time and you don't know what this channel is, it's basically me just talking about gear that I get in. I have another lens coming soon that will be kind of fun to take a look at. And that's about it. So thanks for watching.